Okay, Double or Nothing 2025 is finished. Finally. Look, you want to know how I feel? This is what we got. We got, how many matches? We got about, counting the kickoff show, like 11 matches. This show did not need to be this damn long. What was it, 12:30? 12:40? When this show finally ended. This is way too long. And we didn't just have one match that could have been put on Dynamite. By my perspective, we had three. Three matches on the main card that could have easily been put towards Dynamite. But they're thrown in here. And to be honest, it made no damn sense. But, I am going to make this clear, was the show still good? Even with those three extra matches that should have never been in there, yes, it was good. The ending was good. It did what it needed to do. And since we had a packed crowd, people seemed to like it. Where were they again? They were at Glendale, Arizona, not far from Phoenix. And it was packed up. I don't know if that was a full packed crowd, but it was packed enough to make it feel important. It was good. But I'm not going to lie here. This show did not need to be as long as it had been. This was dumb. And this is one of the major issues that AEW has. They're trying to give us so much when they don't need to. Sometimes less is more. Let's start with the kickoff. And I'm only going to do one of the kickoffs. Only one match of the kickoff. And that was, which I don't understand why. Still, they're doing this. Megan Bayne and Penelope Forbes versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. I don't understand. You guys, tell me below. Do you have any interest in Megan Bayne at this point? As far as I can tell, she's a waste. She's no better than Lance Archer. I have no care for her. Is she beautiful? Yes. Can she wrestle? Yes. But what is she doing on the damn kickoff show? If she's supposed to be one of the most dominant women there that says, bow to me, but then she still loses the match, even if she wasn't one pinned, what is the point? I do not understand. I don't get it. And the person, and I say this again, the person that needs to leave AEW whenever their contract is over is Penelope Forbes. Again, this woman eats the damn pin. And it's Harley Cameron who gives it to her. If it's not Harley Cameron, Anna Jay, it's going to be someone else. All she does is job. And this is stupid. Did they look good when they came out? Yeah. But that's it. Honestly, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling why this situation is the way it is. With Megan Bayne, who should be more important, and now she's at the bottom of the card doing absolutely nothing. And Penelope Forbes, who is a good wrestler, not great, but good, who has good character. Yes, she's sexy. But all she's done is job. That's it. I'm just saying. 8-man tag, I'm not talking about. The faces won, don't care. It didn't even need to be here. You could have thrown it on Dynamite if you had to. It didn't matter. Main card. Let's make this very, very clear. Did I like the match of the Owen Hart tournament for the women? It kind of felt all right. This not this particular match, but the tournament itself was all right until we had that Mercedes versus Athena. That I was not for. I was not for it. But since then, it's been all right. But let's make it clear. Everyone knew that Mercedes was going to win. They were telegraphing it left, right, and center. It is obvious they wanted Mercedes to go up against Toni Storm. And they've sacrificed every woman that they're willing to put on TV and willing to somewhat give story to for Mercedes. So we get this match between her and Jamie Hayter, which I do like Jamie. It was a very rough match, and I'm not going to lie to you. At one point, I thought that it was possible that 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 move that Mercedes gave Jamie, she might have got concussed. I was a little nervous about that one. She seemed to be functioning all right, but she looked like she might have been a little loopy from that one move when at the end of the match. But it was fine. Most of the match was all right. It was a lot of smack into each other. And let's make it very clear. Not all the time you have to do false finishes. They did a lot of them. Now, mind you, how many did we get? I can't remember how many did we get. I think we got about 4 bank statements. I am not sure, but I think we got about 4 of them. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I don't like false starts a lot, but we got a lot in this show. We just did. I didn't like it, but this is what we got. Now, you already know Mercedes won. But now let's get to the first match that should never been on the main card. At all, if you had to have it on the show, put it in the kickoff show, it should never been there. It should never even exist. Niles McGuinness and Daniel Garcia versus FTR. Let's make this very clear. This is what we get when they don't have an idea. And they just grab an idea from WWE. This is the truth. Pat McAfee and Gunther's match is right here. It's just in a tag form. That's the truth. This is what we got. It doesn't make a difference if you liked the match or you didn't like the match. The match was fine, but legitimately the match was a 1-to-1 copy of Pat McAfee and Gunther. Look at one point when FTR was beating down on Niles. Who got up and went over to Niles? Tony Schiavone, the guy who works with him on Collision. It was only thing that Tony didn't do was just grab the leg to try and stop one of FTR from doing what they're going to do. And what happened at the end? Like Pat McAfee, which was obvious, Pat passed out because he was put into a rear naked choke and he passed out. What did we get with Daniel Garcia? And I believe it was Cash Wheeler who gave him that choke. Same thing. I'm not sure. I think it might have been Cash. I don't think it was Dax, but I think it was Cash. But it was exactly the same thing. He passed out. No, I'm sorry. This is not about the match quality. I'm not telling you they did a bad match. Niles looked good. Daniel Garcia did a lot of the heavy lifting. FTR was FTR. They messed with Tony Schiavone. Honestly, it was not a bad match, but it's not the point. The point is, it is a carbon copy with maybe just 1 or 2 differences, like Tony Schiavone didn't try to grab Cash or dash their legs when they were trying to get a pin. No. It was a copy. And that's the problem. You literally decided, instead of doing something with... You're not doing anything with FTR. You put them in a situation where they're doing absolutely nothing. And you stick them with Daniel Garcia, who is now basically a Pat McAfee. And now, to make it even more interesting... Well, technically, he's not Pat McAfee. But since you're going to have Niles come in, and Niles is not going to do all the heavy lifting, it's going to be Daniel Garcia as a proxy for Niles McGuinness, who is Pat McAfee. I don't know what else to say. It's stupid. I didn't need to see this on the damn show. And it took up a good amount of time, too. And it was dumb. Let's move on. Stretcher match. The first one in AEW history. They never done one before. We get Mark Briscoe versus a Ricochet. Was it a great stretcher match? It was alright. Mark bled like he was a stuffed pig, as he usually would. But this is not about that. This is about a big question. What are they doing with Ricochet? It's a big question. What are they doing with Ricochet? We thought at one point Ricochet was going to be working with the Bucks. We really did think he was working with the Bucks. because they're doing all this stupidness where his bald head is being messed with by everyone. And I'm thinking they just want to rub that damn bald head to think he's a damn genie and brings out Mr. Clean. And I know that didn't make any sense. It makes sense when it comes to Ricochet. What are they doing, Ricochet? They're just rubbing his bald head like he's a damn genie, hoping that something special would happen. And understand, Ricochet has been doing good work, but now what is he doing? Nothing. Yes, he had a very good match. And he won the match. But now what? Now what? What do you do with Ricochet now? This is, I honestly, tell me what they do with him. Because I thought he was going to be working with the Bucks. I thought maybe he would be part of Anarchy in Arena. No, he was not. He was not added to it. So literally, it made no sense. So I don't know what they're going to do with him after this. Maybe he'll just go from just going up a little bit with Mark Briscoe in this stretcher match, and then he goes right back down. That's just how it feels. Moving on. All right. I'm not going to say the tag match between the Hurt Syndicate, and the Sons of Texas are bad. No, the match was fine. It wasn't 100% bad. It wasn't. But why? Why did we have to have the Sons of Texas in that match? Why couldn't it have been FTR? Why couldn't you build up FTR? Look, they have let me give it to you like this. All the people that was in an 8-man tag, the Hurt Syndicate has gone through. The only ones that haven't gone through is FTR and the Sons of Texas. And so they threw the Sons of Texas at them instead of FTR, who was doing a match that shouldn't even been in existence because they wanted to copy Pat McAfee and Gunther. And to be honest, it felt empty. Now, mind you, it was interesting to see how MJF was going to interact because he was there. And he did interact in the match, trying to distract, even trying to take the face off of one guy with the Dynamite Diamond Ring. He even tried to hand the Dynamite Diamond Ring to Shelton Benjamin, trying to say, "You're taking too long, just take his head off." And Bobby actually liked to see that he's willing to do whatever it takes to help his side, which he did like. Now, I'm going to be honest here. When the match was over, Hurt Syndicate won, I was waiting for someone to show up, but he didn't show. Cedric Alexander felt like he should have shown up, and he could show up this Wednesday. That's what I'm thinking. And they didn't want to bring him here, so they're going to bring him on the damn show, which is going to be dumb. I would have rather seen Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, look up the ramp, and Cedric Alexander comes out, or better yet, from the crowd, Cedric Alexander comes out because someone tries to interfere, like Daddy Magic tries to interfere, and Cedric stops him, hits him, jumps over the guardrail, beats him up, and then he pulls off his hoodie, and you see him, and he shows up. They win the match, and now not only do you have a MJF, you now have a Cedric Alexander showing up. And I feel like that's what they needed, something. But it's just me. Moving on. Mia Shirakawa, Miss Japanese Titty, versus a tasteless Toni Storm. In a match that was so predictable, it hurt. I didn't like it. It actually hurt me. It actually upset me. Because I knew who was going to win. There was no way they were going to let Mia Shirakawa get the damn title. Unless Mariah May showed up. Which we haven't heard anything about yet. We don't know about Mariah. We don't know if she's left the company or not. We just know she's not there. We do not know if she's going to WWE through NXT. We do not know yet. There hasn't been anything, at least not yet. Doesn't mean it hasn't happened or has happened. We just haven't heard it yet. So I thought Mariah May was going to show up. She didn't. It was a straight match. Good match. Mia Shirakawa is one of these rare women who has not just a great set of boobs, but has really a very large personality. She has charisma. She has character. I like her character, not just because she has big tits, but if you look at how she acted during the match, she was flamboyant. She had an attitude. She got pissed off. She showed off. Hell, look what happened at the very end of the match. And when she lost, we literally, it was a good ending. And what did we get? We got a kiss between Mariah May. No, not Mariah. I actually want to see Mariah May kiss Mia Shirakawa again. But Toni Storm kisses Mia Shirakawa. She kisses her leg because she was messing with her leg. That was part of the psychology. She was messing with her left leg so she can get the figure four on her, which is actually a nice thing to see. You don't see Japanese wrestlers use a figure four much. I'm just saying. But in the end, we knew she was going to win. I just didn't expect a kiss at the end. So it was not a bad match. I'm making it clear, it wasn't. But the problem here is that we knew it was going to happen because they rushed Mia Shirakawa. Just like Megan Bayne. Just like Saraya. Just like I'm going to go through every woman that was predicted to be important to the company. Saraya, they rushed her. I'm just, I don't need to name them. I'm not going to name them. We already know everyone that they rushed. It's just going to drag this video out and doesn't need to be dragged out. You already know who it was. It just sucks to see they're doing this. Moving on. The next match. Let's make this completely clear. And I'm not doing Anakin Arena. Not yet. Paragon versus the Don Callis family did not need to be on the main card. Flat out, didn't need to be. This, I understand why they put it. Let's make it clear, I understand why they did it. Because of Anakin Arena, I'm not doing that next. That's the next one I'm going to do. I knew when they did Anakin Arena, they wanted to put a buffer between the two matches. So you didn't want to just have that match, then follow that. And then it seems like it could never really measure up. That is the reason why they did it. I understand that. But you could have used another match than that. It was not necessary. You could have done something else. You could have used another match. I just felt like even though it was a good match, it didn't make a difference. But then when it was all over and you know who won, the dog count, it was Fletcher who managed to pin Kyle O'Reilly. We got Imo Ishii coming out because the Don Callis family decided they just wanted to whoop their ass afterward. The Paragon, which is not known as Undisputed anymore. You got Imo Ishii, you got Brody King, then you got Tamahashi, who can barely walk. He's now the president of, I believe I'm pronouncing his name, Hiroshiko Tamahashi. I believe I got it right this time. And 100%, he is the president. Why is he trying to come over? And the guy can barely walk. Tamahashi can barely walk, guys. If you haven't seen him, look him up now. Compared to what was 15 years ago, his knees are blown out. He cannot walk at all. He should be behind a desk and only come out as a general manager type of person. He shouldn't wrestle anymore. He shouldn't be doing anything anymore. And they bring him out barely walking, and he nails someone in the face. And it's like a joke. It upset me to see someone like that who has such an illustrious career. He's still on and off wrestling when he shouldn't be on and off wrestling or doing anything in the ring, period, because he can't even walk. By the time, I think he's almost my age. I think he's 50 years old, or he's either 47 or 49. I think he's either 47 or 49. I don't think he's 54 like I am. Well, I will be 54 in a few months. But I don't think he's my age. But at this point, by the time he reaches my age, he may be using crutches because of how badly he's walking. I'm just saying. Anarchy in Arena. Oof. Now, I'm not going to tell you this was a bad match because it was not. What did we get? We got a lot of crazy shit in this match. I know people are going to love this match. There's going to be people that absolutely despise this match. I'm in the middle. It was a good match. I'm not going to say it wasn't. I did enjoy myself. But there were certain things I was not sure about. Like, one, how long they dragged it out. Because at certain points, it got dragged out way longer. I think it could have been ended 10 minutes sooner. Second, when it came to the women, I'm not saying that Marina Shafir didn't work and she didn't try. Or Willow, and I will tell you what happened with Willow in a minute. And I do believe I have images that I've been putting in here. But these women needed more women. I understand they wanted to add women to Anakin Arena to make it special. But there's a problem. Not all the time the women can fully interact with the men. Yes, we did get Willow doing some clotheslines on the Bucks. No problem. And also, she did do pretty much a spear to Wheeler Yuta. But the problem here is that only can go so far with only some of the men in the match. And what men did we have? We had the Elite, which was the Bucks. Then we had Marina Shafir. Then we had the Death Riders, all of them. And what did we get? We got Powerhouse Hobbs. We did get a sighting a Hook, but he didn't want to get involved because he wanted to beat up on Claudio Castagnoli. But he didn't get involved at one point. So that's going to be a big question what's going to happen on this Dynamite, because I'm sure that Hook and it's going to be a big question. What are they going to do with Hook now? And particularly once you hear Joe's going to say, what was going on? Why did you walk away? But we had Joe, who came out later after he managed to grab Claudio and Castagnoli, beating them up like that. You had Kenny, you had Shibata, of course. You had Powerhouse Hobbs, who looked the best out of everyone. And second best was Swerve Strickland, because they really focused heavily on Powerhouse Hobbs, who looked really good. But then they focused on Swerve, particularly when they started doing hardcore, and they were using actual staplers. Not just the small staplers that go like this. The full staplers that you have to have the handle here and go tink. And not only did we get to see a staple in Powerhouse Hobbs' head and in his back, because we saw them actually staple them into their back, we actually got stapled to the tongue for I will tell you, that getting a staple in the tongue for Swerve Strickland, and he had to deal with that for the rest of the match because he didn't try to pull it out before the match was over. It was still in his mouth. He was still stapled because Marina Shafir stapled his tongue. And yeah, we did get Kenny Omega getting thumbtacks in the mouth and then getting EVP triggered in the face. Yes, by the Bucks. But I think the one that had the most was Swerve Strickland, having that staple in his tongue. Right there, boys. That's dangerous. You could bleed heavily from your tongue. I think that's dangerous. But we had a good show. At one point, we had... who was the one who decided to do two different songs? First one, I'm So Excited, during the very beginnings of the match. Then Kenny saying, this ain't right. No. This bullshit. Play something from the 2000s, and what do we get? Hit the bodies to the floor, which they kept putting on loop constantly. It made it better, and it was necessary, but damn it, boy, that was a lie. Then, seeing that Willow, and I do believe I got a shot of it, Marina Shafir decided to padlock Willow to the ring, one of the ring posts, in her ear. You see my fingers right here, in her ear, and I believe I got a shot of it. It's in my face, the best shot I could get. I'm like, did they legitimately just padlock a person's ear to one of the ring posts. Okay, that's a first for me. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen them tape people. I've seen them wrap someone up in barbed wire. I've seen them chain someone and zip tie, but I've never seen someone to literally just put a padlock in their pierced ear and just lock it. And it took, who was the one who got the key? It was Prince Nana who had to get the key. In the end, next to getting Mark Briscoe coming out to help, and they locking them up in the ambulance that didn't drive away during the stretcher match. It just stayed there. Everyone managed to get all the Death Riders in there. We got Gabe Kidd coming out. Was there anyone else next to Hook? No, that was about it. Swerve pin Nick Jackson. And that's how they ended it. Was it good? Yeah, it was a good Anakin Arena match. It was good. They did things I didn't think they would go that far with. But I'm going to say it. They could have cut 10 minutes from the match. And even though they did do certain things with Willow and Marina Shafir, I'm just like, they were not really a factor in the entire match. Because, think about it. Hang on. Is this thing still on? Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I thought my mic just died on me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to try and fix that in post. I'm sorry. But the women were not a big factor. Hell, when they did the 4 screen and four camera angles, we didn't see them a lot. In fact, they cut away from them for a very long time before we even saw anything in the back. And what did we get? We did get Marina Shafir getting hit in the head with a bottle. But in the end, that was it. They could have left them out. Or they could have added them in at the very end of the match because there was no DQ. Finally, the closing of the show. Hang on. I had to stop the camera because it was about to click off. Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay, the Owen Hart Tournament Final. Whoever wins get not the cup, but the title, which I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. I thought the Owen Hart Tournament was for the cup, and then that cup can be cashed in for a title match. And now there's a title that he gets, and then he gets a title shot. I thought when it came to the first 2, they would get the first titles. And now they just give out titles everybody. And that makes no sense. That's the one thing I will say about the Owen Hart Tournament. They shouldn't be getting a title belt. The reason I'm botching here is because certain things that they do when it came to this tournament was kind of stupid. That's the major one. You literally have a cup. And the only thing you have to do is just let them lift it up and they can cash that in for a title match. But no. They get a belt, which supposedly is supposed to be special. Isn't supposedly Adam Cole and Britt Baker the only ones supposed to have a title? But then last time, I don't remember who was the guy who won the last one. I'm blanking. But I know that Willow Nightingale won, and then she also got a title, which that makes no sense. It's supposed to be about the cup. But you guys tell me below. But let's make this very clear. Out of all the matches that we had, the best match that I saw that was going on during the show was, and I'll give it to you like this. Anakin Arena was the best. It was the best match as a big smoz. But the best match is going to be a tie between Miya Shirakawa and Toni Storm and Will Ospreay going against Hangman Page. But if you got to look at them both, who had the better story? Of course, it's going to be the men. Because when it came to Miya Shirakawa, they didn't even give her time to build up. They just threw her at a Toni Storm. So this is the best match, not only for its quality, but story. And this was a very good match that everyone got invested in. Now, do I like the false finishes all the time? No. But since this was a redemption arc for Hangman Page, because they're trying to say it took 2 years to get to this point, it makes sense why there was so many false starts, but does not mean I like him. I don't. You can do false starts, but not too many, because you can go overboard with them and go too far with them, and it will suck. Seriously. It will. But here it was done well enough that the story itself, with those false starts, helped. It did. In the end, Hangman won. He gets the title. Now he's going to be going up against Moxley at All In. And I can tell you, I am interested in seeing how are they going to book this. Let's put this in perspective, guys. This is very important. They have 2 months, roughly, a month and a half to near 2 months to get this done correctly. They must book Hangman Page correctly. They've been doing well now. But if they start overusing him or not giving him enough of a story, we are going to have a big mess on our hands. We will. Because when All In comes, they better give him that title going with what the story they're going to go going forward. If they don't give him this title, I mean this. If Hangman does not win this title at All In July, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm done. Not saying I'll be quitting AEW, but caring about Hangman Page, I'm done. Because Hangman is the only one that can truly get that damn title. And I know people are going to say, what about Darby Allin? He's coming back he should be back right now, coming from Mount Everest. I don't care about him. Right now, the best built person is Hangman Page. Cannot use Darby at this point. He's been gone too long. We need the one who's been built here. If they don't go with him and in a month and a half and build him to really look like he could really win, I'm not going to care about Hangman after this. I won't. I will not care. Because they'll give me no reason to care. But I will say this show was good, but it was too long, and 3 matches could have been eliminated. But this is just me. And I hope you enjoyed this Double or Nothing review. Give me a comment below and maybe 1 or 2 likes. Well, 1 like. That's all you can give. Peace.